Are you ready for a Christmas movie that kills Nazis? Let's talk about it. What's going on, everyone? Welcome to a spoiler-filled discussion of the new remake of Silent Night, Deadly Night, the new film from director Mike P. Nelson. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, just be aware once again, spoilers will be talked about in my review, so just be aware of that. So, Silent Night, Deadly Night is, of course, a remake of the 1984 cult classic. This time it is about a character named Billy, who was actually in the original movie, but this is a different take of that, I guess you could say. Billy in this movie is played by Rohan and Campbell, and he, as a kid, saw his family killed by a deranged Santa who kills his family with a shotgun. Well, about, 20 years later or so, whatever it's been, he has been known for going on murder sprees and killing people as Santa. So he's basically doing exactly what I guess you could say the Santa that killed his family did. But it's a revenge thing, and he's killing people that are bad people. Now, I won't talk about exactly why until I get to spoilers, but just know that there is a reason or rhyme to this. And in the process, he meets a character played by Modine, who plays Pamela, who basically becomes kind of a love interest slash friend of him in this small town as he goes on his annual murdering spree during Christmas. So that's what this movie's about. It's about a kid who witnessed his family being killed, but now has that same drive to kill people as Santa Claus. So it's technically a remake slash kind of reinvention of the Silent Night, Deadly Night franchise film. So there you go. So like a lot of horror films slash Christmas horror films that came out in the 80s, Silent Night, Deadly Night was one of those films where it wasn't a very good movie. It was very campy, but it is considered a cult classic, similar to like Black Christmas. When it comes to like holiday horror films, and a lot of people love that movie. I haven't seen it in like a long time, so I can't justify if it's any good or not. But it also has about 5 or 6 sequels, varying degrees of quality. Garbage Day did come out of that whole realm of movie making and stuff like that. But this is a movie that has garnered pretty good critical acclaim, to be fairly honest. It's got like 86% on Rotten Tomatoes. It is from the producers of Terrifier 2 and 3, I think. It comes out from Cineverse, so it's that type of genre. It is a movie that feels very in line for a holiday horror film, especially during Christmas, because Rohan Campbell plays Billy as a Santa Claus. So there you go. So with that said, going into this movie, as my honest review, I really enjoyed this movie. It is not a perfect film. It actually drags quite a bit in the middle. I think the characters are campy. I don't think they're very well developed, but I think the movie's fun. I think it's graphically insane. I think it's violent. It goes a little too hard depending on how you feel when it comes to its violence, but if you like the Terrifier style violence, the kind of over the top, insane, silly, doesn't relent from what it's doing, shows you the graphic nature of everything. That's what Silent Night, Deadly Night is doing, and I think Rohan Campbell does a pretty decent job as Billy, as the main protagonist. I guess you could say protagonist in this movie because he is playing one, but everyone else is just kind of there. You have the father of Ruby Modine's character, and he is just kind of a character that seems sweethearted and sweet-natured, and then you have the bad guys, and you have the kind of ex-boyfriend of Pamela, who's a cop, and it really is a movie where just kind of a lot of violence happens, a lot of revenge happens. A guy dressed as Santa goes around killing people, and like I said, I'm not going to get into spoilers until I get my spoiler discussion about exactly why that is, but let's just say it's a very interesting premise for why he's doing what he's doing, why the situation is happening the way it's happening. But it's a very low budget film. It feels very low budget. Some of the CGI is terrible. This is just a movie that you have fun with, that you go out and just kind of enjoy for what it is. I mean, if you like Terrifier 2 and 3 or 1, you'll really like this movie because it really is that same type of style. Once again, it has the graphic nature. Sometimes people get like stabbed in the eye or stabbed in the, the throat or chopped in the head. You see the head and they just keep going at it and going at it. And it's just a movie that really is a horror film in its righteous sense. It's an 80s, slasher film. I love the fact that when it starts doing the kills, it does a like grindhouse feel where they have like title cards of the person they're gonna kill, and it's just sort of like it goes and like you see the title card with the red and like the character itself and who they're gonna kill and stuff like that. So it really does have a grindhouse feel for what it's worth, but It just that's kind of where it lands. It's just a movie that is a type of movie that feels very 80s in its nature. And when the revelations start happening, when the ideas of what this story is starts to happen, it just you go with it. And once again, I was not a fan of Rohan Campbell in Halloween Ends, but I like him here. I think he's fun, and I think he's the right fit for this type of movie because he may not be the best actor in the world, but at least he knows what movie he's in. Everybody knows what movie they're in when it comes to this movie. They know it's not well written. They know it's not, the best script in the world and the best set pieces in the world, stuff like that, but it's a movie that knows what it is and has fun with what it's doing. So that's kind of my non-spoiler take for this movie. Once again, on Letterboxd, I give it a 4 out of 5 because I think it's a pretty well put together movie. But yeah, that's kind of where I roll. So that's my overall non-spoiler take of this movie. And let's do spoiler discussion right now. So with what I remember from the original Silent Night, Deadly Night, there was no transformation of souls in that movie. It was just two killers and people going insane during a party or whatever it was. One of the characters is named Billy, but this movie really does feel like a reinvention of that series with the same name and title. It's the same idea. I mean, we have a Santa Claus that goes around killing people, but because of what happened to him, there was a point, and this is a really interesting idea, that when the Santa that killed his parents basically was killed himself, he transferred his soul or his semblance into this character of Billy, played by Rohan Campbell. And in that process, the character of Billy has omnipotent or foresight to see who is bad and who is naughty and not nice. So therefore, this character that is played by Mark Acheson or whatever his name is, talks to Billy and tells him who he should kill. So therefore, this is a character that is like an anti-hero or a hero in a lot of sense because he's killing murderers and rapists and, any type of bad guy, I guess you could say. We have many montages where he does that. And it's a really unique kind of premise because you don't go into this movie thinking that at all. You just go into a movie thinking, oh, it's a guy just on revenge to kill the parent or to kill the guy that killed his parents. But in this movie, you see him kill like a room full of Nazis in a really fun sequence straight out of Kingsman, the original movie. And then you have like him taking axes to like, family members that are bad. And, he goes after like, just different members. Like sometimes he'll kill a policeman. And, once he meets Pamela, the Ruby Modine character, he falls in love with her and kind of falls for her. But it's not revealed until later on that he is doing this because he is kind of told in his mind to do it. So it's almost like he is a split personality in a lot of ways, and therefore he is using the other character to kind of fulfill this prophecy of being the kind of hero that nobody realizes they want. And once again, there's a lot of homages in there. There's a Garbage Day homage that's kind of funny, and it leads all to this kind of revelation that there is this kidnapper in this town, and they go on and they save the kids, and then Rohan Campbell's Billy character is killed, and he transports his essence or his soul to Pamela, who becomes the next Avenger in the Silent Night, Deadly Night universe, which is kind of funny to say, but that's what's so clever and so interesting about this movie is they didn't take the easy road. They didn't do a repeat of the original. They actually tried, whether it worked or not, something entirely new and something unique. And yes, it's in the vein of a Terrifier movie where it's super violent, axes to the head, and you see people get stabbed over and over and over, and you see somebody get, axed in the face or whatever happens, and it's very violent, very graphic and gory and all that kind of stuff. And it's, rated or rated, not rated or whatever. And it's just, it just kind of was surprising that, throughout the movie, you have this guy talking to him and you just think he has a split personality. But no, you see the transformation happen where the soul is kind of, it's enveloped similar to like Highlander style or whatever into this person. And I was honestly surprised how much I really enjoyed this movie. I was not really expecting to like it. I can see why it got an 86% of Rotten Tomatoes, and I appreciate the fact that they go there. Like I said, it's not the best when it comes to the best looking movie. There is a moment where his grandfather, who you think is actually the one that's kind of guiding him, throws up, and it's really kind of, the CGI is really terrible. But once again, this is leaning into the 80s style of filmmaking when it comes to the nostalgia of like how 80s movies were not well directed, not well produced. They're machismo type movies, or movies just kind of were there for fun more than anything. But once again, I give it the credit to Mike P. Nelson, who does a really nice job of directing this movie. And I give a lot of credit to the cast and crew for doing this movie because, like I said, you know, they could have made this a really terrible movie. And they actually made a movie that's actually better, almost better than the original movie. So I'm surprised. I really enjoyed it. And there's not much else to talk about. It's just the kind of spoiler take is just the fact that he's being guided by the soul of the guy who killed his parents, whose parents apparently were people that killed their own, you know, father, or one of the fathers of the parents, to gain money, to be really honest. So that's why they were killed. And it's good stuff. I gotta admit, it's a good holiday horror film. It's gonna be a good, classic, campy classic, similar to Terrifier. It's gonna garner an audience through VOD and stuff like that. And that is Silent Night, Deadly Night, the 2025 edition. So there you go. Anyways, that is my spoiler take on Silent Night, Deadly Night. I do appreciate it. In the comments below, have you seen most of the Silent Night, Deadly Night movies? What's your favorite? Like I said, one of the big classic moments is the garbage day moment. But that's here or there. But let me know what you think of those movies. Are you looking forward to this movie? If you've seen it, tell me why, what you think of it. Otherwise, if you like what you see on this channel, hit the subscribe button to join Movie Emporium. Hit that notification bell, top to find what's coming next. If you like this video, awesome. Hit that like button. And as always, we'll see you guys on the next video. Peace out, guys.